if I told you that the beef that led to the murder of these two hip-hop icons might not be over the reason that you thought it was? What if it all led back to a 6-year-old child? Okay, now hear me out. I know y'all all remember this.
Any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
Now, we all know that what he said that night will go on to change hip-hop forever and ignite the East Coast-West Coast rivalry. But looking back, he never really said nobody's name. Shout out to Beats Gordy, because some of the information that you about to hear came from a post that he already posted. Everybody assumed that he was talking about Puff, even Puff. And the tension in that room was so thick that night that Puff came on stage and felt compelled to say this.
I would like to say that I'm very proud of Dr. Dre, of Death Row, and Suge Knight for their accomplishments.
But what if Suge wasn't talking about Puff that night? On a Drink Champs interview 5 years ago, Puff said that he ran into Suge a few weeks later and he asked him this in private. He was like, bruh, was you talking about me that night? And Suge said this.
He said, nah, I was talking about Jermaine Dupri. And I was just like, wow. Yeah, I was just like...
Wait, hold on, what?
I was outside in the 90s, and trust and believe, Puff wasn't the only person that was being all up in the videos dancing. He was just the one person that was doing it the most. Now, in 1994, a whole year before the Source Awards, Death Row Records released What Would You Do by the Dog Pound featuring Snoop Dogg. The video starts with Daz and Corrupt and Snoop shooting pool, and they lose to Snoop. But Snoop ends up walking outside to go get his shoes shined, but it's who he walks past that proves very interesting. Now, who is that supposed to be? Okay, maybe that's not who I think it is. But if that ain't her, then y'all tell me who this supposed to be.
What's up, big staff? Hey, what's up, homie? Hey, man, take this money and get your plane ticket and go on to Atlanta, partner.
And there ain't no mistaking, we all know who that's supposed to be, right? Dog Pound performed this song right at the Source Awards in front of both of them. So it was clear at the time they shot this video, they was not rocking with JD. But the question is, why? Okay, backtrack to the early 90s. Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre on tour and they in Ohio. And Daz being Daz, he walking out into the crowd trying to find a little Yami. And this dude walks up on him and says, yo, man, my son can rap. And his son ends up rapping for Daz.
Shout out to Bow Wow.
So Daz takes him back to Snoop. As soon as Snoop sees his kid, he notices.
It was fun looking back at it, watching him, seeing the little kid, do, what he wanted to do, which he wanted to be me so bad. And I didn't really realize how much influence I had on him.
He's basically a younger version of Snoop Dogg. So Snoop puts him under his wing, and he even gives him a name. Now, this kid was around Death Row for a long time. Snoop's father instincts kicked in, and he thought maybe this kid shouldn't be around this type of lifestyle. So he gave him to this guy.
I know what this is.
These two would go on to make millions. Little Bow Wow was basically just imitating Snoop the first whole half of his career. Look how much time he had actually spent around Snoop Dogg. But that's probably not what made Suge make that comment that night. Now, a couple of months after the Source Awards, Suge Knight bails Tupac out of prison. And when he comes into Death Row, he changes up the whole vibe. Some people was rocking with what he was on, and some people wasn't. But trust and believe, whatever Pac was on, Suge was on, and that was vice versa. According to Suge Knight, this is why they wasn't really rocking with JD.
I felt like the Brat was trying to be Snoop. And that being said, then when the Brat first came out, and Jermaine Dupri made everything like she was Snoop.
Straight to the head like a chronic sack.
So what if that comment that night was never even intended for Puff? And I know y'all think I might be reaching, but what if I'm not? What y'all think?
Skills.